And I think that's an Army thing too. Like anyway, I was trained always have water on me, always. So I never leave the house without a water bottle or my Gatorade bottle comes with me wherever I go. And it's probably the first thing I ask. Or I had I've got 2 water bottles now in my room there. Anyway, I've always got water on me. It's just goofy.
So here's another paradigm that I've heard this weekend. I might as well tackle it right now. A paradigm that I've heard this weekend is saving dollars. A few dollars here and there. Now, listen, it's the kettle calling the pot black here, because when Ken and I are communicating, I'm always talking about saving a few dollars here and there too, okay? So this isn't about you guys doing it wrong and I've got it all together. And Ken struggles with this too, right?
Yeah.
Everyone in this room struggles with it on some level. Like, well, this is a little bit cheaper, or this is a little less expensive. That's a mindset shift that needs to be made. Over the next year, that's a mindset shift that needs to be made. You need to start realizing that mindset, you're giving up quality of life. Caring. So I'll give you an example. On an area that I'm struggling with right now, okay? As a real life example. We go to Hawaii and we buy, so last year we went to Maui for the first time. This is the first time we've ever been to Hawaii. We decide to go in February of last year, 2016, and we're not going to actually go until December, okay? Months and months and months and months ahead of time. So I start looking at the prices online for plane tickets. And I've been told by other people, I do my research and I find out what the cheapest tickets usually go for. February 29th comes, good catch. And it's
29th.
Every 4 years, right? And WestJet's birthday is on February 29th.
Oh, really?
So every 4 years they have a crazy sale for WestJet tickets. So my mom calls me, because we were going to be with them for part of the time. She calls me and goes, Mark, there's a seat sale. They're really good prices. Like, you may find a little bit better prices, but you'd have to wait for them for months. Do this. And I go, I'm going to wait. Because I can save like $15 to $20 per ticket.
Wow.
Okay? For 4 people. That's savings of $60 to $80. Okay? Guess, so I don't know how much time I wasted last year following. I downloaded Hopper, and I've got, I'm looking online I've got a system where I've got a routine, good routine. So I got this routine where I'm looking online every few days and making sure that when those tickets are on, I'm gonna get them. I waited until, I think it was late September. So months of wasted time before I finally bought the tickets. And you know what? Because I waited so long, there were less tickets.
More expensive.
They were, well, no, I still got a good deal. Not as good as my mom got on the 29th. I still got a good deal.
$30 off.
But they were tickets that were awful. We flew in way late at night, so the kids had less sleep. They struggled on our first day of Hawaii because they've got less sleep. Our plane tickets back, so by saving, we didn't even save the $60, $80. By not saving the $60, $80, on our flight back, we were in Vancouver late at night. We arrived at 12:30. So we slept over in a hotel. We didn't get to the hotel until like 2. We slept for 2.5 hours. We got up, we went back and got onto the airport at 5 in the morning or whatever, and came back to Calgary and had appointments that day, and were rushed and tired, and I'm sure we had fights that we didn't need to have. Like $60 to $80. That's where my mindset still struggles at times. And I've come to a place where I'm like, okay, we're in this place, we're in Disneyland or wherever it is, we're at a place, just buy the water. That's $6. It's $100 a bottle. They're like, buy the water and learn to make more money. And so that's what I'm starting to learn right now, is going, instead of how do I save $2 or $10 or $60 to $80 or whatever it is, I'm starting to learn how do I make more money so that my family functions really well when we're on holidays and we want to function well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, that's one day I was coming home, my neighbor, who's a police officer, and I saw something in the back of his truck, and it just dawned on me. This this poor guy probably had to save money, budget and everything just so he could buy this. And, you know, when I want something, I go get it. I still struggle with paying the prices and whatnot. I
Yeah.
still have some struggles.
Yeah.
But I don't ever think that I have to budget this or budget that. My mindset automatically goes to, well, how can I make more money?
Yep.
And my daughter Jen just bought a house, and so she's having to sell her duplex in order to facilitate this transaction. And her partner, who's relatively new in her life, about a year and a half into the relationship, we've just turned his world totally upside down because he was totally stressed out. How are you buying a house when you haven't sold this one yet, and you don't have the down payment, you don't have this, you don't have that? And she said, well, I just have to make more money. Well, how are you going to do that? It'll happen. I will. It'll all come together, and it did. It has, and it's moving forward.
Perfect example of not focusing on the how.
Yeah.
Focusing on the goal, the how takes care of itself. Why? Because our subconscious, we haven't even gotten into the power of your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind drives everything and has the ability to give you ideas that you didn't realize you had. Answers that you didn't realize you had. Solutions you didn't realize you had. Automatically. Yeah. Yeah, I love that. Okay. So we've got about a half hour. Here's what I'm thinking. We'll talk about goals a little bit more. And what I want to talk about is visualization. I want to talk about visualization. So what I mean by that is how you put yourself in the future situation. How you can enter into that with your imagination. This is a really important skill, and this will be talked about lots of times throughout the year, okay? So don't worry. You're not going to understand it probably fully right now. It's okay. I'm introducing the concept so your mind can start playing with it. And as you're introduced to it again and again and again, you'll get it more and more and more. But visualization is the key to success here. So really quick story. So I come from this strict fundamental Christian home. And so in grade 7 or 8, I was learning long jump and triple jump. No, it must have been later. I think it was grade 10. I was competing in like provincial events and stuff, and so my dad said, hey, listen, I know somebody who's great at the triple jump. He competed in the Commonwealth Games. Would you like to meet him? Of course I would. So it's actually this other real estate agent in Calgary. My dad was a real estate agent when he was working. And so this guy comes up, he's this tall, lanky guy, competed in the Commonwealth Games. I think he actually won a medal in I don't know which year or anything. But anyways, even competing for India. And so he comes over and he asks me a few questions, and he looks at kind of how I'm running and jumping a little bit, and then he goes, okay. He's really relaxed. He's like, I'm going to teach you something. Have you ever heard the term meditating? And all of a sudden, all these connotations come up about like transcendental meditation and giving my mind to the devil and things like that. Okay, that's where my mind went. Right or wrong, I'm not blaming anything right here, but that's where my mind went. That was the connotation, and I was like, there's no way I'm listening to this guy. He's leading me down an evil path, okay? But what he was teaching me in that moment came back years later that I used to success. What he said is, Mark, the most benefit I can give you in meeting with you once is to teach you how to visualize, how to meditate on what you want. So he said, what I want you to do is close your eyes, and I did it with him. And what he said was I want you, so in the long jump, what you do is you start off, getting ready for your jump, you start off at the white line that you jump from. And you walk backwards down the line, counting off a certain amount of steps. Once you've really got it, you just measure them, where you always start from, and you can always start from that place. But every day, sometimes depending on the weather, you're gonna have a different stride. So you start from this white line and you take stride, you run the opposite way as if you would be running towards you. So you run this kind of long, loping steps and then build up speed and then your power up. So I would run backwards. So you said, so in your mind, picture counting off your steps. Turn around, take a few deep breaths, relax yourself. Now I want you to start running and start your jump. So he would talk me through every little piece. He was talking me through every little bit. He said, now hit that line perfectly and drive your foot down. And he went through even the process of in the air, you're driving it's called the bicycle kick, and you're driving your arms. And now land in the pit perfectly, and now look at the result. Look at how well you jumped that time. So he took me through this whole long process. I'm describing it really quickly right now. He said, this is what you need to do daily. If you do this consistently, you will jump better. This should sound a lot like the story I told about the basketball players yesterday, right? So at the time, I just dropped him. I didn't pay any attention to him because he was the devil, right? So I got out of that 2 years later. I'm in grade 12. And I'm just not motivated in sports in a lot of ways. People are dirty in sports, and so I wasn't into that very much. And so I was competing, so we had 3 different events. There was the regionals, there were the cities, and then there were the provincials. And it was probably over the course of like 6 weeks or so, all right? And so in preparation for the regionals and cities and provincials, guess how many times I went actually to the jump pit at my school and practiced jumping?
3.
It was something like 3 or 4 times. I don't know the exact time, but it was, like 2, 3, 4 times I went to the jump pits and practiced for like 10 minutes over 6 weeks. And I got a silver medal at the provincial event. Now, I'm not the greatest athlete in the world. I'm far from it. What I attribute that to, success in that area, beyond what I probably would have done, is simply I became really good at visualizing. By that time, it was a couple years later, I got really good at
You
visualizing.
were practicing the devil's sorcery, were you?
The devil was helping me compete. I really got good at it because meditation. I had connotations about meditation that had nothing to do with reality, right? Meditation means a different thing to every person that you talk to. Okay, we're actually going to practice a couple of meditative type techniques this afternoon that have nothing to do with Satan. Okay, but we like. Those techniques, what I was doing was I was living out a reality in my mind, and my subconscious mind cannot tell the difference between reality and fantasy. So I was practicing, and my mind was going through the process as if I really was practicing. Some people talk to me and say, oh, that's fake it till you make it. I say, no, it has nothing to do with fake it till you make it. It's living as if, which is a term that comes again from psychocybernetics. It's living as if something is true. Living as if it's taking place in your life. Fake it till you make it is focused on fake, being unreal, being disingenuous. Living as if is, it's coming to me. Maybe it hasn't arrived yet, but it's guaranteed. So I'm just doing the things I need to do in the meantime to bring it about. Does that make sense? So visualization is something that we're going to talk about again a lot of times in different ways this year. Here's some teaching on visualization. My wife came to me Saturday before I left for here, so a week ago. A week ago we were talking in the evening and she said, Mark, she had just heard me speak. I spoke at a network marketing event and she was there. It's the first time she's heard me speak in a long, long time. She said, I really like that. She said, help me out though. When I try to visualize, when I try to put myself into the future and imagine good things, she said, I have a really hard time doing it. I have a very easy time going to a worst case scenario. I have an easy time imagining that we have no money and living out of a van. But I have a difficult time living in abundance, living with. Now, some of my wife's story, she comes by it honestly. When she was, from the time she was like 8, 9, 10 years old, she's always kept a backpack with essential items just inside her closet, just in case there's a catastrophe. Don't know where this initially came from. We've talked about it. We have no idea. But ever since she can remember, 8, 9, 10 years old, she's always had this backpack of like, you've heard of like the 72-hour pack or survival type packs. She's always had that. Before it ever became popular, she had it. She should have promoted it. We would be fairly well off by now. But she also remembers always like waking up in the middle of the night and going, oh, I don't know if the toaster's unplugged. Like going to her parents' room and going, are all the windows locked? Are all the toasters unplugged? My wife, from a young age, has trained her mind to imagine worst case scenarios. She has trained her mind to imagine worst case scenarios. And she can fill them out with vivid detail. That's easy for her. What she's struggling with right now, what I've struggled with at times, what I believe many of you are struggling with on some level is, how do we imagine the best case scenario? How do we imagine what we actually want? Because as you do that, you start to move in that direction. If you always think about failure, you will fail. We've heard this, or we've done it in different ways, but tell yourself, don't stub my toe when I walk by this sidewalk. Our mind, again, it's not a very complex system in some ways, with the subconscious mind, the limbic system. And it picks up on, oh, stub my toe, stub my toe, stub my toe, stub my toe, and then you stub your toe, right? Because we get what we focus on. So what I'm asking you to do in visualization is start to focus on what you want, and that might be uncomfortable at the beginning. Develop this skill. It's a skill, that's all. When you first do it, you may only be able to do it for like a minute, 10 seconds, 5 seconds before your mind goes in a different direction. That's okay. Develop this skill. As you develop this skill more and more, you'll be able to live there. That's part of why I'm doing this. Okay? I have affirmations that I do in the morning and the evenings. That's part of why I do that. I've got these certain routines that I'm just training my brain all the time to think about what I want. Think about the good things. Think about the great things in life. And my mind goes there automatically more and more and more and more. And as I go there more and more, I realize more success in my life.
It's got to the point that I have to turn my timer on the phone because it'll be an hour later and I'm still visualizing.
Yeah.
I get so caught up in it.
Yeah. And that's ideal, right? If you can go to the locked room in your mind, right? How time moves in a different way. And you go, oh, it's 10 minutes and it's an hour later. That's what you want, okay? And this is only a skill. This is just a skill. Anyone can learn. So here's the number one frustration that I hear from my clients. The number one frustration is, Mark, I have a hard time seeing things. How do I start? How do I start? This is what I would do. So yesterday, one of the assignments was to start writing down that dream, that goal, that purpose, right? And then fill it out in rich detail. Do that. As you do it again, as you go over it again, you're going to go over a number of drafts with this, okay? As you do it again, what I want you to do is, if you want a certain emotion in that picture, I want you to go to your past. So for example, extreme joy, or euphoria, or excitement, or contentment. I want you to go to a time in the past where you did feel that. And I want you to steal the emotion from that past memory and use it for the future memory. Just plant it in there. Because that our mind is able to do a lot easier. So if I say, take yourself back to the happiest time in your life. We talk about it a little bit and you get involved there. Then I say, okay, take that joy and now plant it in the future. Into that situation, it'll be much easier. So the first thing I want to tell you is take emotions, steal emotions. Stealing has different connotations. Take emotions, borrow emotions from past memories.
Replicate.
Duplicate. Take those emotions, duplicate those emotions, replicate them, put them in the future, and use them to attach emotion to something you want in the future. So if you have a future event and you're like, I'm unemotional when I think about that. Here's the second stage. Some people say, Mark, I don't have emotions. Like even in my past, I don't have positive emotions attached to anything. That's okay. That's okay. You can actually borrow emotions from situations that you've seen, or movies, or other people that you've seen. So pick somebody that's joyful. Pick somebody that's excited. Pick somebody that's passionate, or whatever that you want in your own life. And focus on how they present and how good that must feel. As you just practice that, you're practicing the exact same thing that I'm trying to teach you. Because you're going to start imitating it and imagining what it could feel like. And you will get good at it. It takes a while at the beginning, you get better at it as you go along. So that's the deeper level. So first, borrow, replicate emotions. You can also replicate situations from the past. So for example, if part of your dream is to live on the coast of Portugal, if that's your dream, if that's your goal, then what I want you to do, if you've never been to Portugal, what I want you to do is think about another beach that you've been on, the most enjoyable beach experience you've had, and take that beach and transplant it into Portugal. Just take that same experience and take it into the future that you want. Okay? If it's a beautiful home that you want to live in, and you've never experienced a beautiful home, you've never been to other people's homes that are beautiful in the way that you want it to be, a palace or whatever, then I want you to watch The Rich and Famous or watch something and view that, and then take that situation and plant it into the future. Basically what you're going to be doing is using your life and your experiences as well as other people's experiences, and you're going to be copying and pasting all of these experiences and emotions and what was the word? Senses, and you're going to be transplanting those in. Make them vivid. Feel the wind, the temperature of the wind. Feel the spray of the ocean. Every time there's a bit of a gust of wind and a big wave, feel the spray. I want you to make this as vivid as possible. And keep making it more vivid. Increase the vividness of this idea. Any questions right now?
Can we do it now?
Yeah, actually, you know what? We do have 20 minutes. Let me look at anything else that I wanted to talk about here. Okay, so this is what I'll say. I'll say one thing and then I'll let you guys do this on your own, okay? Has anyone played Balderdash? Balderdash is a game where somebody reads the definition of something, I don't remember, or the experience of something, and basically the other people come up with completely fake definitions or completely fake experiences or whatever. And then one person has to rate what was true and what was false, okay? Do you know who's the best at those games all the time? Huh?
People that visualize?
People that use experiences from their past and just change one thing. So they'll take a definition of some other word that they already know and just switch a little bit in it and provide it in the new situation. That's always the ones that will get everybody. I'm actually very good at this game, okay? Because I will use past experiences and I'll put different things, especially with strangers, because my wife can sometimes tell because she'll remember a story I told about something. But if I'm with strangers, I'm really good at this because I take past experiences and just switch one thing, and so people even read it. So I'm a passionate guy when I'm in front of people, but it even comes out in your words. Your belief in something comes out in your words. And if you believe it, you write about it differently. And so somebody will read it and actually believe it more because you believe it more because you actually have had that experience on some level. Isn't that crazy? Watch, if you ever play this game with somebody, watch who's the best at it, and then ask them where they get their definitions from, and they'll always say something along those lines. Like, well, I'm just vivid, I imagine something vividly, or it's something that I already heard in the past, or whatever. Okay? All right. Take some time with this. If you have questions, ask me one-on-one, because I'm going to help people one-on-one, and we'll do this until lunch. We only have 15, 20 minutes, okay? So, again, just fill out more detail. You don't have to write paragraphs right now. If you want to start, and just kind of like, beach, house, and then just fill it out. And for everything you write out, go, what do I see, what do I hear, what do I taste, what do I touch, what do I, just experience all your emotions, experience all of your senses, okay? If you've already written it out, redo it. Like just fill it out more, okay? This is a really valuable experience. If you get this, when you get this, because I know you guys are gonna get this, when you get this, what do you say? Like, it changes your world. It legitimately changes your world. You will be a different person in a year. And you'll look back and go, remember that crazy thing that Mark said that none of us really understood or believed or whatever? And when we started doing it, when it clicked, that's when everything started happening.
This is the magic. This is the part that keeps you connected moving forward, though.
Yeah,
If you
absolutely.
don't do this, then you'll drift back into your everyday life. You have to keep doing this every day in order to stay connected with it and motivated to get to it.
Yeah. So I want you, if you think about this, keep me accountable, challenge me. Mark, did you write in your journal last night? Okay? I don't consider this a police officer, like, and I'm going to be ashamed if I don't do it. I consider, when I throw that out to people, I doubt most of you will ever ask me about it. But even putting it out there, making myself vulnerable in that way, I do it more, just because of that. And so I do it. I always tell people, remind me about this, keep me accountable for this, because it helps me get things done. And I want to get the things done, because I know they're directly related to my future success. Okay, yeah, take time, do this for a bit, ask me questions if you've got them. We'll work through them.